Legends! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Livestream Legends. Today we are tackling the absolute best way to approach your promotion and scheduling for your streams. We're going to tap into the best practices as well as specific days and times to avoid. So this is going to be good for all types of content creators, streamers of any kind, whether it's for business, entertainment, all of the above is going to be covered today. So let me know if you are here in the chat. We are about to become Livestream Legends together. Let me know if you're here. We're upgrading from noob to pro. If you're here in the chat, light it up. Let's go! Yo, welcome to the party. Let me fire up the chat and see who is here with us. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you for joining. I see Adi is in the mix. Jackie Curley in the building. My girl Teresa. Oh, appreciate y'all so much. Jared is coming in over on the YouTube. Good to see you, brother. Everybody that's tuning in, let me know where you're coming in from. I would love to know who is in the mix, and I can't see unless you say a little something. So let me know where you're tuning in from today. Would love to see everybody that's with us, and welcome to Livestream Legends. There he is, Simon the man. Good to see you. Robert Berry in the building. Gotta love it. Thank you guys so much. I see Jenny Gold is joining us as well. Just giving a quick little hello to everybody. If you're catching this on the replay, skip ahead just a minute or two and we'll be getting going. Oh, dang, it is loading up already. Good to see y'all. Reggie Waterman in the building. Elisa Marie. Oh my gosh, I gotta turn off this. Look at this brilliant crew here. Thank you guys so much. We're about to jump into the best promo scheduling strategy for your streams, and this works for virtual events and stuff like that as well. So we're going to be tackling all the best practices for any type of industry or stream, as well as critical days and times to avoid. That's what we're going to be jumping into today. So I'm going to turn off the chat. I'm going to turn up the little presentation thingy I got going here, and we're gonna get straight into it, folks. We want to maximize your stream, and I have the secret sauce. What we're gonna be tapping into is these three key pieces that you need to connect and be working in unison, and that's gonna be aligning your stream type to your audience or to the time of day that you're shooting for. And then we're going to go into prime time windows. This is going to be the ideal spot you're going to want to shoot for most streams. And then the last piece is how to systemize this promotion into a rhythm. And for those of y'all that stick around the entire time, I'm going to share two critical times that you just might as well avoid entirely. So without further ado, let's jump into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's chat about how to determine and align your stream type. This is going to be a critical piece for anybody that's curious about what is appropriate, an appropriate time for your audience. And obviously this all anchors from the type of stream and the type of experience that you want to present. So this essentially becomes the anchor point, or the first domino that you got to knock over and figure out before the rest of the clarity comes into play. Amazing to see all these brilliant people. Thank you, Usama, everybody else that's jumping in. We are already rocking and rolling with the presentation, so let's keep it going with determining your stream type. So in most cases, I know we got a lot of LinkedIn homies in the mix. For business and interviews, you're going to look for the daytime hours. This is typically going to be better for you. Same thing for education and webinars. And in a moment here, we'll go into exactly what all of these hours are. But in most cases, this is the general best practice you want to follow. Business, interview type of stuff, anything that you can do during the workday or is kind of work related, keep that in the daytime. Same with education and webinars. That's where a lot of people are accustomed to absorbing education in that context during the day. And then we get to the alternative stream types, stuff like entertainment, games, and even just casual chill streams. These are going to be much better to push later into the day when they're not as productive. So keep those pieces in mind of determining what your stream type is and what your audience is really looking for. That's going to give you the first anchor point into this. So all of this stuff is region specific. So we're going to jump into the prime time hours now, which are essentially going to be based on your primary region. So you have to understand your audience to know what exactly is the majority of your audience. In most cases, recognizing the people here, I think U.S. time, East Coast, Eastern time, is going to be your primary audience in most cases. I think over like 50% of American population is on the East Coast. So that's what I use as my anchor point. But everything we're talking about today is specific to your audience. So adjust these times to whatever you assume or discover your majority of your audience, whatever time zone they're in. So these are the prime time windows that I have discovered through all the research and testing that I've done. Is for weekday type of shows, there's a peak in the day around 1 to 3 p.m. This is that after everybody's kind of got their primary work done, everything's taken care of, and they have some time to chill or invest while they're at work or while they're finishing things up here in the afternoon. And then ultimately what's usually going to be better is after people are checked out from work or whatever their primary activity of the day was. So you'll see this evening time here bumps to around 6 to 8 p.m. And those of you that are familiar with traditional media, this is the primetime window that you might be aware of, that they always would stuff the best shows, anything that needed maximum viewership always snuck into this evening time primetime slot. And that was for a reason. The big boys know what they're doing, especially when it comes to scheduling. And a little caveat in these weekdays is to understand avoiding Monday morning. For some reason, well, I guess it's for obvious reasons, most people avoid jumping into stuff Monday morning, especially when it's streams and other activities. Most people are busy as hell on a Monday morning, and everything they put off for the weekend suddenly hits on Monday morning. So in most cases, if you're shooting for a weekday stream, avoid that Monday morning slot. And now, the alternative side of this is if you want to consider streaming on weekends. Now, this is going to be usually a better option for entertainment, gaming type of stuff, and even virtual events will fit into this category a lot better. And you'll see these are similar time frames, but just scooched a little bit earlier than the weekdays. I think people on the weekend obviously have less to do as far as professional tasks or personal tasks. So that time that they jump into streams or watching stuff typically scoots a little bit forward. And then the caveat here is avoiding Sunday mornings. For most people, this is a sacred time, whether you are religious or non-religious. Most people just love a relaxing Sunday morning with nothing to do. So I'm not surprised to see these results. I'd love to hear from you guys so far. We're about to jump into the exact data of these cycles, but let me know in the chat if you were guessing that these would be the appropriate times, or if you were surprised in any of these, because some of it might feel intuitive, but ultimately, it comes down to just testing and optimizing. So let's go ahead and pull up the data here that I was using to look at this. Now, a quick little caveat: this data that we're looking at is from Twitch viewerships and Twitch streams. So I do realize that there's a slightly different context for LinkedIn streamers, YouTube streamers, everybody that's considering other platforms, but I assume this will actually comply to most of these. So what we're looking at here is this is around midnight of Monday going into Tuesday, and you'll see this recurring cycle of middle of the night is usually the lowest point, but there's always viewers if you check out this. So let me just give the overarching context of there is no perfect time to stream, but this will help you optimize to hit these sweet spots. So what we're looking at here on this area is the weekday prime time slots. These are what you're going to want to utilize for business, education, entertainment type of streams. Let me full screen this here for a sec so you guys can get the best view possible, but you can see the times here that the weekdays are pretty recurring in a rhythm here, and then Friday night kicks in. So again, this is primarily for entertainment type of streams, casual stuff, lots of gaming is going on here, but you do see a peak in these weekend sessions. So this is a critical thing to consider when you're looking at all of the pieces to basically see where your stream can plug into one of these peaks depending on the day. Now, this obviously gives you a context of when people are viewing, but the other thing to consider here is stream competition at the same time. So there's a counter argument to all of this, assuming that you want to be on when there's the most viewers. The counter argument to that is streaming when nobody else is streaming. And the theory behind this strategy is if you're streaming in a non-competitive time range, if there's less streamers to watch or less things to watch, then it's more likely that you can accumulate viewers on your end. So it's a tricky equation to try and figure out, but we're giving you all of the basic metrics here to follow and the guidelines to try and stick in between. So let's keep it rolling. So what I just mentioned here was basically you could stream during these non-peak times, and because there's less streamers or less things to watch, it's likely that you can still gain great viewership. So don't treat any of this like a 100% truth. This is all best practices and will adjust based on your audience. So let's keep it rolling into the even more critical part. Scheduling is just a tiny little detail of this adventure. What is far, far more important is actually developing a system that you can consistently commit to. Consistency is going to be far more critical than any other. Just because you streamed at exactly this time, not everybody's just going to show up. What matters far more is the promotion and the systemized element of bringing people to your stream continuously. So let's tap into the most critical details here. And the first thing you want to do is set a feasible and consistent streaming frequency. No matter what day you are streaming, the best thing you can do is to keep it consistent. Keep it in an ongoing rhythm that always that people can expect, and you can start getting ingrained into people's habits. So choose what is the most feasible streaming frequency you can keep up with, whether it's I like to do weekly. I might bump up to 2 streams a week, but in that case, you want to keep the days consistent. Keep the days and times consistent once you've found your sweet spot. And this will give you a lot more extra mileage than just assuming you picked the perfect time. So yeah, consider what is most feasible for you and how you can stick with it. That will be more valuable than anything else. And then number 2 here, invest in a compounding promotional system. And what this means, anybody that's familiar with compounding interest or compounding investments, it's something that grows a little bit more each time. And a good compounding system like this will actually give you so much more freedom when it comes to streaming, because you're not worried about the promo and all of the stuff that happens before the stream. So a good symbol of this is bringing people to your stream through an event page or emails or whatever your community platform is, and then bringing new people into your world, whether it's through a community like Discord, mailing list, even just following you on social media. These are going to be critical things to do during the stream that give you that compounding return of more people coming over time. And number 3 here, the most critical, if you guys have been following Livestream Legends, you've seen me say this over and over and over: promotion over production. Value promotion over production. It's great to have a nice clean show. I love it. It has its value, but if you only have limited time and energy or money to spend, invest in promotion. You will see way higher returns on that investment. So focus on how you can tighten up your promo rather than fancying up your show, and you'll see brilliant results with that. And now the last piece of this is just to track, test, and optimize everything with your own data. Again, all of this is just best practices type of stuff, but your reality of your audience and your show and your region and everything is going to come together for a very unique, situation that most people, we're not all going to fit in the same box. So you need to track everything you can, test and optimize for your specific show and scenario. So real quickly here, I'm going to bring up one of my production templates here that I use and can basically share with all of you guys. So this is the macro level of what I do for this show. I essentially have a checklist here that systemizes our promotion and production all in one. If you are curious to snag this checklist, this is my compounding interest here. I would love to have you join our community and join the Beast Club, which is my mailing list. So I just dropped a link here that should pop up on everything except LinkedIn. If anybody's on LinkedIn, if you could drop the link for the Beast Club for me. This is where you can sign up for a mailing list. I'll email this checklist and share streaming resources for you. But a simple system like this on a weekly frequency, you can see here the time that's associated with all of these is going to be far more valuable to keep everything on track. And essentially, this becomes your anchor point for exactly what you need to do every single week. So the biggest problem with streaming and promotion and all of that is just trying to get people there is such a battle. The war for attention out here in the digital realm is very, very real. So any slight thing you can do to bring more people to you and systemize your promotion will gladly support your longer or big, like long-term initiatives. So gonna try and keep this as tight as possible today. We might actually hit the 30-minute mark with a clean cut, but let's go ahead and summarize what this means, bringing it all together. The key piece here that I'm gonna hammer home over and over and over is consistency is king. Consistency is king, folks. This is gonna be the most critical factor of your entire thing. If you can stick with a single frequency that you can sustain, this is going to give you a lot more mileage out of your shows and your promo, because people know where you're going to be. So always keep that in mind as your top priority. And then the secondary piece here is really getting empathetic and getting mindful of who your audience is. And the key pieces here is aligning your primary region. Where is your audience from? And then combining that factor with your stream type. Is this business? Is this education? Is this entertainment? Those are going to be more ideal for specific times of day. And then the last piece is just the actual audience themselves. What do they want? What would be convenient for them? So that's going to be the sort of the trifecta you got to work with and bring together. And then the key piece here now to how do you understand this data? Where does it come from? The rookie way to do it would be simply surveying your audience. And what I've discovered from audience surveys is you can't trust people. You can't trust people and their actual word when they're self-reporting on surveys. There's a lot of people that will say they'll attend at this time or they prefer this day. But in reality, it doesn't even make a dramatic difference when you actually bring that stream or that event to life. So what I have learned and the habit I've really adopted is transitioning to tracking the real data, the metrics of viewers, view time, regions they joined from. The real data that's behind each stream is going to be far more reliable than what people say they would prefer. This is the same thing of people that have ever experienced pre-sales or working with like a new product. You can send out surveys. Everybody will say, yeah, I love it. It's great, bro. And then nobody buys it when it actually comes out. So that's going to be a key piece here, is just staying in tune with your analytics and your data and moving the needle and adjusting based off of that rather than just audience surveys, though. So keep that in mind. And then the last piece of this, just go easy on yourself. This is the most critical part. There's no such thing as a perfect stream. There's no such thing as a perfect time to stream. The only thing you can do is accept the reality that you'll never have a perfect show, a perfect stream, and that you need to just tweak and optimize and adjust over time. So that's the last key piece here to just keep in mind, is accept the reality. It'll never be perfect. There's going to be streams that you think a ton of people will show up and nobody shows up. And then the opposite happens sometimes. You randomly throw on a stream with no promo, no plan, and suddenly everybody shows up. It's weird, it's crazy, but accept the reality. It'll never be the same. It will never be perfect. And you can be far more comfortable approaching it from that mindset. So Before we wrap up here, if anybody has specific questions about what we've jumped into, so I see the chat is rocking and rolling. We got LinkedIn action, we got YouTube action, we got Twitch action, and even a little bit of Facebook. Y'all on Facebook or YouTube, drop a quick little comment. Let me know you're here. Hit the like button on this stream if you've enjoyed any portion of this or even got a dash of value. That will help other people see this either right now or on the replay. So would love to earn your support if you've been a part of this journey. And we are going to open it into Q&A because that's how we end the show, is sharing this journey together. The whole point of this is to become Livestream Legends together. So I'm sharing my insights and everything I'm struggling with and need to figure out with you guys, and would love to do the same and invert the equation. So if anybody has advice on their best time to stream or the best way to schedule streams, drop it here in the chat. Or if you got a question instead, drop that in the chat and we can tackle your question straight up. So, as most of you are aware, this lovely show is running and powered by Restream Studio. I'm actually rocking and rolling week after week with Restream, and it makes my life way easier to do all of this, schedule the streams, go live on Twitch, LinkedIn, all of the platforms without any troubles, and it consolidates everything I need into one home base. So big thank you to Restream. If anybody's curious about starting their streaming journey, just jump in the description here. We got a link to jump in the chat, and you can essentially get started streaming for free, and it's super easy to fire up your first stream. Obviously, there's all kinds of stuff you can master over time, but ultimately, it's about finding what works for you, and to do that, you have to start the journey. So I heavily encourage you to start the streaming journey today and get it rocking and rolling. We are all here with you. So anybody that wants to sneak in a question, let me drop this beautiful little banner, also in Restream Studio, a great little feature to utilize. And if I missed a question earlier, let me know exactly what you want to do. Picture in Restream. Yeah, so one of the things you can do here is, let me turn this off to show the wonderful LinkedIn user. I can't see at the moment who that is. Please reveal yourself, LinkedIn user. But this is a super simple feature here to do a little picture-in-picture action like this. Without the overlay, probably looks a little bit better. So yeah, you can do all kinds of brilliant, super easy layouts. If I need to move this to a different little switcherooski, you can easily do that. It's super great system, highly recommend it. But if anybody has questions specific to scheduling and promotion, go ahead and drop them in here. We are about to fire up the Q&A session. Thank you so much. What's the best way to manage invite lists on LinkedIn? My fingers hurt. So we are officially in the Q&A, folks. If you got a question, drop it in the chat. Would love to support your journey. And from our legendary LinkedIn user, it looks like that's Majida, or possibly there's a few of them. We need to think of that compounding efficiency. So I'm a spreadsheet guy. My default form of thinking is, how can I put this in a spreadsheet or organize it? So for me, having a list of people that you know are interested in your stream, that's going to be your best anchor point for promotion. And you'll notice that over time you'll have a core like nucleus of supporters, and then you'll get a couple new people each round, a couple fresh faces that jump in, and The key here is that compounding element, that compounding piece of how can you grow the new users just a little bit more each week. So keep a spreadsheet or whatever your desired list format is. It could be a document, or even they have super advanced production companies. You have a CRM to bring people into certain categories and certain streams, certain events. So the elementary version, track a spreadsheet of all of the existing viewers, people that have came to your stream before, especially ones that have liked or commented or participated, and then add new people that are going to be relevant. If you know somebody is a relevant target for your stream, add them to your invite list and target them by industry, by geography, or even by their role. You can search on LinkedIn, you can target people by their exact role and title. And this is really brilliant for webinars, education-based stuff. All of that is a powerful way to get new people to your stream while still accommodating the loyalists that are always there. So let's jump into another question here. What is one thing a first-time streamer should know before going live for the first time? The first thing I would say is everything you are worried about is amplified in your head. Audience doesn't care. Doesn't care. I still stress about dog barks and sweat stains and all this stuff that I think people care about. They don't care at all. Like, in most cases, unless your entire stream just start to finish is a chaotic mess, then I obviously avoid that. But in most cases, the stuff that you're worried about is worse in your head than reality. So my advice to a first-time streamer is turn it on, let it rip, and be willing to adapt and improvise over time. That's how most of my streams go, and it turns out just pretty great every time, regardless of how awful I think this moment was or this error was. Most people don't notice, most people don't care, and the people that do likely aren't gonna make a critical difference in your life. So just get over that psychology of things going wrong, or assuming like it's gonna be this epic failure that everybody's gonna go publicize, because I've screwed up so many times on so many streams, and I've discovered most people don't know, and none have remembered or brought it up again. So just get over that as the best you can. This is a new question coming in from Tender Sausage. Appreciate you, sir, coming in over on Twitch. And he's asking, what are your thoughts on streaming during peak hours for discoverability? So this is a bit of a double-edged sword. I'm going to go ahead and bring up this streaming cycle here where... Oh, I'm hidden now behind here. So what we saw here is this is the peak viewership hours on Twitch. And what you can do if you're looking for peak discoverability, you can try to compete with these peak hours. Again, these are weekdays, about mid-afternoon, jumping up to the evening here. And then this is the weekend hours. But the critical thing here to consider, Mr. Tender Sausage, is there is less competition during these moments. So although this has the highest viewership, it also is going to have the highest competition in most cases. So what you're going to want to toy with is, for your specific audience, where can you sneak in where they're watching and they're viewing, but there isn't a lot of other people streaming. how can you sneak into that non-competitive space that still has viable viewership? So that would be my thoughts. Mr. Tender Sausage, appreciate you jumping in and sharing that question there. If anybody else wants to sneak in a quick question, we're gonna jump out of here pretty quick. We're tightening up these shows, getting them as concise as possible, and we'll take a few more questions here in this Q&A round. And another mysterious LinkedIn user is asking, is it worth streaming directly to your events page and not your profile or business page? This is a brilliant question, mysterious LinkedIn user, maybe Reggie, maybe Majida, whoever. But my insight is, as of right now, the personal profiles are doing best for firing up streams. However, I have seen the virtual events or very large, massive events that people promote for weeks or months can do well either on company pages or the event page that you're talking about. So I wouldn't encourage it at right now. If it's a show on a cycle, if it's on a rotation of a weekly show, then it's probably better to have your business page or your profile. That way people know where to go each time. The same way you know what channel your favorite show was on 7 p.m. on Wednesdays when we had normal airtime schedules and we weren't just Netflix addicts. Once upon a time there was schedules like that where you had to know the channel, the time in the day, and it was part of your rhythm or your system. So I'm still seeing that trend with most streams, so I would stick with that by default, unless you have a very special virtual event or a really long extended stream that you're promoting for weeks or possibly months. In that case, the event page does become feasible because you're collating everybody there and it's one time, it's very specific and clear what's happening and where things are going. So that is my advice there for the event pages. They are a little tricky. Oh man, is it easy? We're sneaking in, we're rocking through these questions, so anybody that's curious that wants to join us, would love to have you. And also, before we jump into this next question, if you are a streamer or a content creator of any kind, I just dropped a link to our Discord server. We would love to have you in the mix. If anybody that's on LinkedIn could drop this Discord link to bring them to our lovely home, I'd appreciate you, because I can't comment on LinkedIn from this Restream thing. So just wanted to give that a quick drop, because we have these type of conversations going 24/7 if you need to ask questions or just collaborate with other creatives in the community. We would love to have you. But let me get back to this brilliant question here that I have now lost. Just a second here, folks. It was something about RTMP. There we go. This is the problem with too much chat. I love you guys. It's just difficult to keep up with sometimes. So is it easy to set up the RTMP settings to stream directly to a website or event? It is actually a lot easier than you think. Either through a tool like Restream Studio, which I'm using right now, or OBS, you can essentially sync the RTMP to a specific destination. So there's two ways you can do this. You can have your normal stream going out. So like right now I have my stream on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. What you can do is embed that video or that stream into the website or wherever the event is being hosted. A lot of virtual events use this. Or the opposite way that's a bit more technical is you can set up a streaming output on your site directly. And then in that case, you would want to have the RTMP settings, which is your key and your code, and you would sync that directly in the back end of your website or event. But I do suggest that first route where you stream normally out to Twitch or whatever platforms, and then you bring in that stream as an embedded video that people can watch within that event page. This is great for virtual events or stuff where there's going to be like an extended lineup of people switching throughout the day. You can have a home base and then switch the stream over time. So that is my advice for the RTMP settings, and we'll see if we can sneak in one more question before we get out of here. Oh, yes, this is true. This is one of the beautiful things, is embedding this Restream chat here, which I should have turned on a moment ago to see all of your brilliant comments coming through here. But one of the other benefits of Restream Studio and using Restream in general is you get this chat embed when people are talking. There we go. It drops these comments as an overlay. So you can set this up in OBS or whatever software you're using, and it will essentially collate the multi-platform chat. So right now we're heavily LinkedIn heavy, but if people on YouTube or Facebook, if you guys drop a quick comment, this integrates all into the same chat. So exactly like Jackie just did. So you can see here how this is useful for when you're expanding into multiple platforms. The tricky part is your audience is diluted across multiple platforms. So this helps bring everybody together. It helps keep Chris and Jackie and all the mysterious LinkedIn users on the same page and feel like they are together in the same stream rather than isolated and siloed into things. So yeah, one more reason to join Restream, and I'll go ahead and end it there with a quick thank you to everybody that's been supporting us and this adventure. All I'm doing week to week is sharing what I've learned on my streaming journey with all of y'all. So if you have been here for one show or all of the shows, just give this a quick little like or let us know that you're here in the mix with us. We'd always appreciate seeing and knowing who is here, as well as having ways to connect offline. So even when we're not streaming, we still want to help you build out all of that creative community and that creative energy that you need for streaming. So that's what we are doing every single week. Thank you guys for joining this episode of Livestream Legends. Just gonna give this like a quick little 30-second cooldown for the end card of the show, but that's the end of the line, folks. Thank you for joining another episode of Livestream Legends. We will catch you next week. Take care, y'all.